Hey everybody, Fox Gaming here. So today I would like to bring you a brand new support tank build. For those of you that have been with the channel for a while, you may remember my TU10 version was True Patriot with Tardigrade because it offered a lot of benefits to your entire team with the True Patriot flag, but also gave them the Tardigrade overshield, the bonus armor when they were about to go down. And that worked really well. I used it with strain weapons, with Lady Death, with Pestilence, either way that build just performed. This is essentially the TU11 version. This build comes originally from madOCfm, one of the lieutenants in my clan. For those of you that are unaware, our clan is called Mercy Rule. We are on Xbox only. If you are interested in joining, please do send me a message. Let me know in the comments, or just request to join through the clan vendor. So yeah, Mad came up with this build. He essentially was looking for a build that utilised high Hasbro and armour regen, whilst giving loads of bonus armour through Galvanise and Tardigrade. And originally I was put off by this idea. I was like, why would you run Hasbro and armour regen together? You'll have no damage. But honestly, after putting this build together, I've made some changes to his version, admittedly, but after putting the build together, I could totally see why he come up with this, and it performs amazingly. In the current meta, this is a top tier support tank build that really enhances your teammates' ability to close kills way faster than they could before. And that's because everybody's running Intimidate Shotguns at the moment. What I can essentially do is get into the fight, debilitate the enemy, give bonus armor to my teammates, give them more bonus armor if they're about to go down, keeping them alive longer, and giving them Intimidate, and also while staying alive for a ridiculous amount of my time myself, to a level where even though this is no damage on this build, I'm actually able to hit quite high damage numbers for a 6 blue no crit chance build. It works, honestly, it's really good. So what I'll do in the usual fashion is I'll go through the build, explain the pieces that I've chosen and why I've chosen them, and then we'll go into a conflict game. I will put the timestamps for both of those in the description, and I'm going to start doing that going forward, so you can just go straight to the build or the gameplay if you prefer. Before I do go into the build, though, I do want to quickly address something that I was made aware of yesterday. Quite a few of my subscribers were commenting on my recent skill hybrid build video, stating that apparently Nothing But Skills essentially did a carbon copy of that build on his own channel. Now, first of all, if that is the case, no hard feelings at all. It really doesn't bother me in the slightest. It just means that, if I got the build out first, you guys are getting the build first, and that is literally the point of this channel, to try and create some builds that aren't really out there at the moment, or just sort of slight off meta and counter meta builds, and give you guys early access to that. In my mind, only one of two possibilities exist. Either he did steal the build and just hoped to get away with it, or he didn't. A similar thing happened with Patrick Wolf a few months ago with my spotter in sync build. He did the same thing. Again, I'm more inclined to believe that with both of these cases, it is just coincidence. Content creators are constantly thinking of build ideas. Yes, the possibility exists that they were poached, but I'm more inclined to believe that it is coincidence. I have no issue with any other content creator. I don't really watch their content, admittedly. I like to do my own thing, but no hard feelings. And as I said, either way it benefits you guys, because either I'm making builds that coincidentally some of the really big content creators are, so that tells me that they are good builds in the current meta, and once again you guys are getting these first, or if they are stolen, it means I'm doing something even more right. So either way, being a subscriber of this channel is hopefully helping you guys out by getting that stuff out there first. But yeah, that's that's the end of that. I don't want to go into anything else there. I've got nothing else to say on that. No hard feelings at all, regardless of how that came to be. So let's have a look at the build. We'll start from the top. We are running the Gunner talent here, predominantly to get the Banshee Pulse. Now, madOCfm prefers Riot Foam here, so he actually runs his with Technician, and that works really well, by the way. Not really a fan of Riot Foam. It is brilliant for this build, but I wanted to go for the Banshee Pulse because I felt that it offered just a little bit more with group battles, whereas in Riot Foam traditionally can only stick one person at a time. So the Banshee Pulse applies Disorient, which means that it essentially randomises the input from your left and right analog stick and dodge roll, or your WASD and mouse. So if you're trying to turn to aim on someone, if you're trying to run away, you'll just be all over the place, and it's very powerful. It's also a very effective way to proc Galvanise, if less frequently than Riot Foam. Gunner also gives us a faster reload on our weapons. Occasionally it gives us faster rate of fire on kill. It gives us a very nice armor kit, so it is a good specialization tree to use, but Technician could work just as well if you wanted to use Riot Foam. The weapons that we are using both need to be optimist. Basically, there's no crit chance on this build, so what you want to do is just pick damage talents that don't rely on crit chance, and I found that Optimist gave me the best overall damage numbers. You want to have a shotgun for close range combat because you're absolutely going to be right up front, and then an AR for long range combat. 612 is my choice here because it gives us a very fast reload and a pretty good burst damage, and as there's no crit chance on this build, it was pointless speccing into it because it would have achieved literally nothing, so I just went full reload speed, as you can see with the underbarrel. Weapon handling for the scope, which of course is reload as well, and then the flexible tubular spring 20% reload speed. I would honestly suggest you do exactly that on any shotgun you pick, because you're going to be in a fight for so long, you'll be reloading constantly, and this just helps to increase your damage. The shield splinter was my choice here because it gave me perfect optimist, but just use any AR or rifle or long range weapon that you're comfortable with for taking down skills from distance, and just sort of getting early damage into enemy shields and so on. Damage to targets out of cover and optimist are, again, just like the shotgun, what you want to be looking for here. Once again, I've specced purely into the usability of this weapon, not crit chance, because I don't have any on this build. So weapon handling, stability, and the large mag on this weapon. The Liberty pistol is what I like to use here because I run the Bulwark shield, and I only pull that out in the second half of a fight when I'm starting to get low. This thing absolutely smacks now. It comes with damage to targets that are covered by default, which is amazing, and you now get 2% weapon damage per stack, and those stacks do not disappear as long as you swap your weapon. 30 stacks in total, so 60% weapon damage. If you do land a headshot with those, it will do a ton of damage and repair your shield at the same time, and you can build stacks off of enemy shields and skills as well, whilst obviously simultaneously destroying them. So the Liberty is definitely best in slot here. If you don't want to use it, you could just use a Lady Death or a Pestilence on this build, as they all work equally as well, but for me I wanted the Liberty with 2 Optimist short and long range weapons. We are running 2 pieces of Golan. This build differs from Mads as he likes the 3-piece Golan, which makes a lot of sense as the extra 5% armour does give you more armour regen as it's percentage based. I wanted to include a Jarl in here, so my build is slightly different in that sense, but ultimately what he suggested and what I've done is to run exactly as you see this mask here. High armour, high Has-Pro, high armour regen. You want those 3 attributes on every single piece of your build, obviously barring the Tardigrade as that's a fixed roll. So the second piece of Golan is exactly the same, high armour regen, high Has-Pro, and of course the Galvanized talent that gives our teammates 20% of our armour, which is 1.8 mil on this build, as bonus armour, as long as we apply that Disorient. They call it Confuse here, which is confusing because that's not what it's called, but Disorient essentially is Confuse. Or Ensnare, Riot Foam. Blind and Shock are terrible on this build, don't use them at all, just go Riot Foam or Banshee Pulse. But if you do that to an enemy, even if they're far away, and you can catch a lot of enemies in this by the way, you're just going to give your teammates that are right next to them 20% bonus armour, and there's no internal cooldown on this. If you run both Riot Foam and in Disorient, you could just constantly be giving everybody bonus armour, but I do like the Bulwark shield for survivability. So yeah, a really effective talent. It lasts for 10 seconds. Disorient is very powerful because it just completely turns the tide of a battle, so I would definitely recommend running Galvanise on your backpack. My build differs here with the Jarl. These gloves are annoying me so much. I've got max armor, max Has-Pro, and I desperately wanted that armor regen on there, as crit chance is literally a wasted stat on this build. So it sucks that I haven't got those, and I will keep farming for them. When I do get those, my armor regen is going to be close to 80k, which is insane. That's double what most shotgun builds run, so it is ridiculous armor regen and survivability on this build. But the Jarl does give us the Has-Pro, which is really important, so you know, I really wanted that on this build, and there is a reason why I swapped out the Jarl. It's all to do with Ensnare immunity, which I'll show you how I've done that in a second. I was also able to get Has-Pro on my Murakami. If for whatever reason you can't get Has-Pro on these, don't worry about it. You don't need to run these at all. You could just run the 3rd piece Golan here, or the 2nd piece Jarl for the weapon damage, or 1 piece of Gilla for 5%. You could run Douglas and Harding. It doesn't really make a difference, but what you want to have here is the armor regen, the Has-Pro, and the armor. So basically it wants to look just like this mask. So if you can get the Murakami, it's better because it's 1% as opposed to 4900, so it is stronger, but it is not a necessity for this build. It just means you'll be sat closer to 70k than to 80. Still, you know, as I say, not the end of the world. It's still way higher than any other build out there. And then finally we are running the Bellstone 1 piece because that's the further 1%, so that's 3% including the Murakami and the Golem. Still got the armor regen and the Has-Pro rod onto there. Tardigrade gives us armor regen anyway, but it also gives us the ablative nanoplating talent, which is amazing for conflict and dark zone, as it just flat out 40% of my 1.8 million armor to any teammate regardless of range if their armor gets broken, and that lasts for 10 seconds and can be reprocced per teammate, including ourselves, once every 45 seconds. Amazing chest piece, and for any tank support build, if you're not running this, then you should be. Vanguard can work well as it's theoretically more armour, but I've tried it, it just doesn't work as well. Tardigrade is just, you don't have to do anything, it just automatically kicks in. Shield is what we're using here, the Bulwark Shield, because this is great for keeping us alive. Honestly, with this thing you just won't die. I don't use this very often, but I do pull it out you know, in the middle of a fight if I'm starting to get a bit low, and then I can start building up some stacks on the Liberty and absolutely destroying people. Really, really powerful, 13 million HP, although it does take a 4 times modifier since the nerf, but this thing still lasts quite a long time. For your mods, you want to spec fully into holstered regeneration, as much holstered as you can get. Active regeneration is now a dead stat as shields take so much damage. If your shield is out, it's going to get broken for the most part, so this is just a get out of jail free card. Just go as much holstered as you can get. The Banshee Pulse, this mod you want to use here, are skill haste across all pieces if you can. I don't know if you can get 2, but skill haste is by far the most important. And then next you want to use the cone. No, what's it called? The charge speed one. I don't have that here, so I'm not too sure where they go, but I've just gone with the Banshee Radius, which is really good. But skill haste is definitely top priority for this particular skill. If you look at our stats, you'll see that I am at 74k armor regen, and if I didn't have those Jarl gloves, I'd be at 80k. It's really annoying. But basically, I'm at 74, soon to be 79 when I get those new gloves, which is ridiculous. As I say, even the most optimized shotgun builds that are designed to do damage usually hit about 42, 43k. This is, you know, close to double that, so it is ridiculous, the armor regen on this build. So with the exact rolls that I've got, I'm sat at basically 70% Has Pro. Now for those of you that aren't aware, to be ensnare immune, so you can't be Riot Foam, you need to be 85%. Unless they're running like a full skill tier 6 Eclipse build with tons of status effects, that can still very temporarily ensnare you. You definitely want to be running a load of ensnare mods on this build. So I've got my ensnare resistance up to 89%, which is over the 85% threshold. That's all you need to worry about. Because I already had lots of Has Pro on this build, I only needed to run 2, but you might want to consider running 3. Depending on how you build it, you might, you know, I've got a skill haste as my 3rd mod in here because that really helps out my Banshee. But for the most part, if you don't have as optimized rolls as I do, you may just want to consider running 3 ensnare resistance mods. You don't need anything else. Income and repairs you don't need on this build because a heal will definitely get you up pretty high from a healer, and your armor regen just fills in the rest anyway, so don't worry too much about that. I would definitely just go ensnare resistance. So the one thing I noticed with Mad's build, he run 3 skill haste mods, so his Riot Foam came back quickly and he was providing us with so much bonus armor. But the one weakness I noticed with that was that he occasionally got foamed, and whilst he hardly died at all in all the games we played, if he did, it was due to foam. I wanted to remove that weakness with my version. The other good news about that is if you run Riot Foam yourself, you can't foam yourself, because now that is a thing in game. That removes that as well. So Riot Foam is probably still best in slot here, because with Technician you get the +1 skill tier. But you know, I wanted to come away from Riot Foam and go with the Banshee instead. So that is the build. Screenshot that if you want to. We're now going to load into a conflict game and show you all how it performs. Alright, let's see what we could do. So where this build really shines is when playing with, well, first of all with your teammates, with your clan. I don't really rate this solo queue, but as is the case with all my videos, I always play solo queue. Up close builds, shotguns, Lady Deaths with Intimidate, what you want as your teammates, because you can all just rush in, you'll give them all bonus armor so their Intimidate is stronger along with their Adrenaline Rush, and then your armor regen just means you can kind of get in front and take the hits, and if they are starting to chase you, you can just whip around, do a quick Banshee Pulse, to confuse them, which will basically stop them chasing you, because it's really hard to control your direction when you're disoriented. If you just tap it, it's about a 5 meter radius. You don't need to charge it up if you don't want. So yeah, it just depends on the engagement as to how you use it. I often just tap it, because if you're doing it too far out, your teammates will be out of range of the 20 meters and therefore not benefiting from Galvanise, in which case you've just wasted a skill that has a 20-second cooldown. Was that a sniper turret that I just saw there? It was a tier 6 sniper turret. Let's see how much damage this does actually.
Rogue hive detected.
About half. Watch the armor regen now.
Rogue stinger hive detected.
So the bleed doesn't last that long at all, and I'm regenning through it anyway. Look at that regen, it's crazy. Right, let's push around. So you see he's got bonus armor there now. We'll whip out the shotgun. He's dead. And I'm not lost really any health. Oh no, buddy, don't go down. No. 8 seconds to the next Banshee. I could afford to lose some snare resistance. Wow, these have so much health. Look at that reload though. Instant reload. Oh, now these guys are just not going to be able to do that much. I'm going to get my shield up, there's more than one here. Use the Liberty pistol, build up some stacks, just sit in the bleed because I can regen through it. Oh, I'm getting shot from behind. No! Ah, no! Ah, my team all dipped! Ah! So this is the problem with solo queue. Like, those guys should have been right in that fight there, but you know, the problem is because obviously they're not on comms with me. They might have needed to heal and they didn't have the opportunity to tell me. So again, in solo queue, this build isn't great because I just didn't know that they'd left that fight and sort of left me to it. With your team, obviously they'll call out if they're pulling back for heals and so on, and then I'll dip. But the whole point of my role there is to take all of that damage, which I was very comfortably doing until some guy got behind me, and let your team clean up from that. So now he's just running all over the place. Oh, no foam for me, buddy. Sorry. I'll run through this because it makes no difference to me. Okay, that's the fight I don't want to be in, so I'm going to pull back. Blind doesn't last very long. The regen's kicking in. Should really be a bit closer forward here. He's dead. There's your bonus armour, buddy. There you go, that's a bit more for him. Come on, team. Can't phone me, buddy. You can't phone me, buddy. Oh yeah, I can do that too. Look at this armour regen. He just can't do anything. He doesn't know what to do. Oh, there's a nice little headshot for you. World's longest fight. Oh, he's going to go down. Wait, what? Where did he go? Oh, he's there. Yes, my team came to help me finally. Yes! Nice, he's dead too. I'm just not dying ever. Get some stacks built up, shall we? Oh, he's so nearly dead.
They're about to get pulled out.
I'm going to chase this guy down. He's got a glass cannon, I know that much. Nice. Nice. Have one of these, buddies. Have one of these. Shield out. I'm getting shot in the back. So this is the point of it. You keep enemies busy until your teammates can just come in and do exactly what my teammate's about to do here. I'll take the hits for you, guy. I'll take the hits for you. Ah, it's so intense because I just don't kill anything. Come on, team. I need you to kill this guy. Lost him again. Where's he gone? Oh, wow. Has my teammate like, got like no damage as well or something? Reload the headshots here.
The roads have run out of reinforcements. You can win this.
The weak guy first.
You missed out.
It's him dead. And the bonus arms keep him alive. Oh, love this build. Mad, you are a genius, good sir. Look at that armor regen, it's crazy. And as long as your team know to play behind you as well, it just works. I don't even think I've died yet. I haven't. Oh, I died once, didn't I? Yeah, of course I did. Give them the bonus armour. There we go. He is a very slippery boy, this one. How can 4 of us not kill this guy? Teammates, kill him! This nightmare foam is better, to be fair. I think this is where like the disorient is letting me down a little bit. I can't believe 4 of us could kill one guy. Maybe I've just got like a low damage team or something. Maybe they've got similar builds to me. There you go. Now you do find that most games you play this build on are like that, which I don't know if you noticed, but I was having a lot of fun there. Yes, you do low damage, but because you can take so much aggro and it's super hard to die, your team could just come in. Again, because with solo queue, those guys probably didn't know. They just thought I had the kills, they left me to it without realising what my build was. Just give them the old breakdance. So yeah, play it with your team, or even just message in the little chat box. There's just a couple of you just to say, look guys, I'm on a galvanized tank here. Just whoever I'm focusing, kill them. And yeah, your team will clean up. I don't think it was demonstrated too well in that video, but that footage, but let me know what you think. I hit 34 million damage there, which is actually more than the guy above me, and not too far from the top player in the team. So it just shows that because you're in the fight for so long, I mean, look at that. The guy at top, he was 13 kills, 0 deaths and 6 assists. So he had a storm of a game, and he hit 40 million damage. I was on 34 million with, let's just say, no crit chance, because I don't want to talk about those Yale clubs as they upset me. So, you know, that shows that you're just doing constant damage, constant bonus armor for your team, constant armor regen, debilitating the team with foam or disorient. Honestly, it works. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. If you have any versions of this build that you think will perform better, please do let me know. I'll be more than happy to have a look at those and let you know if I make any changes. And until then, I will see you all in the next video.